30 seconds till extraction complete.
Okay guys, welcome. This is my very first Division video, and in today's video what I'm simply going to do is go over what I think personally is the most OP build you can get in 1.8 at the moment, and as you can see right now, that is Strikers classified. On top of that, I'm using the house. Preferably I would like to use a lightweight M4 and the big Alejandro, but because of the sheer DPS at the moment and the fact that I've not got it fully optimized, I'm going to stick with my Predator's house. So the reason I use Predatory is because mixed with the heal that you get with your 6-piece classified striker, it is OP, really OP, as you would have seen from the start of the video, from the footage that I've captured for you guys. Now anyway, with no further ado, straight onto the house. So obviously, as I said, I've got Predatory. I haven't got Adept unlocked, sadly. I'd love to have that unlocked. It would be an absolute powerhouse. Obviously you all know what card counter is because everybody is after this. On my magazine at the moment, I'm using the typical magazine size crit chance and fire and rate of fire. I'm also using the C79 scope with crit damage, crit chance and headshot damage, and it's the same sort of thing on the loud vent break. Also on my underbarrel, I've got some reload speed there just to get me out of some sticky situations, some stability because the SMG now is practically bob on with my shots, and the obvious crit damage. Next, for my lightweight. On my lightweight, I like to run Deadly, Unforgiving and Determined. Determined simply just because I need to get that cracking, absolute life-saving ultimate skill back as soon as possible. So Determined is an absolute must on your secondary weapon for me. Unforgiving, obviously, for the DPS, it's kind of the alternative to having responsive or card counter, which if you could have card counter on a gold weapon, I'd be after it. Next, I've got Deadly. Obviously, I need some crit damage on here. I've got crit chance mods on here. Well, not crit chance mods, sorry, crit damage mods, but I also want that extra 15% crit damage, so when I do eventually crit with my assault rifle, it hits massively. Next, same sort of thing with the magazine here, apart from I've got reload speed, because I want to get that reload off as quickly as possible. Same sort of thing with me optic, apart from I've got rid of headshot damage for accuracy, because the lightweight is an absolute pain in the arse to use. Then I've got my large muzzle with crit damage, crit chance, headshot damage, same as the loud vent break, and the same sort of thing with the underbarrel. So, going into the pieces now. On my chest piece, I run with health on kill just to get that extra bit of health when I'm killing people, and ammo capacity, pretty standard setup there, apart from many people will either go with a bit of EDR or with some skill haste. So I'm not going to go over the 6-piece for Striker. Everybody knows it now. Everybody knows what Striker comes with. So I'll go straight into my mods. I've got 2 firearms mods, both with health. Preferably you'd want to get some higher rolls on your firearms mods, but it's what I've been given, so I'm going to have to use that, unfortunately. Next, on my Striker's mask, I'm using crit hit chance and burn resistance because of the absolute annoying combination with Reclaimer now that people are going to be using flame turrets, so I've got some burn resistance there. On my modifications, I've got some stamina and health. Knee pads. On my knee pads, I've rolled it into stamina, I've rolled the mask into firearms, and I've rolled the chest piece also onto firearms. Now, picking up where I left off, I've got some crit damage, blind death resistance, damage to elites, and disorient resistance. Now, I need new knee pads, 150%. Crit damage I want, health I want, blind death resistance I want to trade out for some burn resistance, and damage to elites I'd like to change out for some shock resistance due to the fact that people like to throw grenades. So, and the burn resistance for me personally is an absolute must. Going on to the modifications, I've got some stamina with health, and I've got first aid self heal, pretty standard box for me, but with the increase of people using support stations, you can swap out first aid self heal for support station healing speed, or you can swap it out for your pulse crit chance, simply to just get more DPS off. Going on to the backpack. On my backpack, I've got it rolled onto stamina. I've got crit damage, Preferably I'd like to have ammo capacity, but disrupt resistance there is also a good one. Crit damage is an absolute must on this build for whatever you can roll crit damage on and crit chance on, apart from the holster I believe, unless I've changed that. Next I've got the mods set up here as stamina with health, first aid self heal, and again first aid self heal for me. On my gloves I'm running with firearms, crit hit damage, assault rifle damage, and SMG damage, because there is no point in using two different weapons if you are not going to be getting the damage from your gloves. If you'd want to purely use the powerhouse, as I'm going to call it, because with this build it's an absolute beast, you can change that for crit chance. Next, and finally, I am using crit chance, as I said, on my holster, and I've also upped up the electronics to unlock predatory on my house, and again I'm using first aid self heal. Now to go over the pistol, because I missed that quickly, I'm running with predatory in case I accidentally press Y, because I'm prone to do that, and vicious. Vicious is an absolutely useless talent on here. You could, instead of having determined, if you want to run with a shotgun on as your secondary, you could have determined there instead and just smack a down player, or just finished off a NPC with the stacks. Now going on to the skills that I use a booster shot purely because it gives me extra DPS, and with the stacks as it is, your DPS is going to be insane. I also use an immunizer for the burst heal and to get rid of that annoying Predator's Mark Bleed. Going on to my talents, I run with critical save, pretty standard as to how it is now. You get your damage resistance, which is an absolute must, and especially if you're planning to run a more glass cannon type striker build. Next, I've got combat medic for when I'm playing in a group. It's an absolute must. Realistically, you really need it. If I'm playing solo, I'll change combat medic out for precise. Next, I've got strike back, reach low health to reduce active skill cooldowns by 20%. For me personally, this is a cracking talent to have. I've had it since the start of the game, since it was been able to be used. I absolutely love this talent. For me, it's cracking, and with your strikers, you're either constantly going to be coming back and forth from that last segment of health, or you're going to die outright. So if you can maintain that last segment of health, your skill cooldowns will be ridiculously quickly. And for my last talent, I use on the move, so I can finish off an enemy really quickly, get that extra incoming reduced damage on top of what we already have on critical save, which is an absolute beast. So guys, if you liked this striker build, if you have any suggestions or anything like that, pop them down in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed the video, simply like and subscribe. Peace.